I get asked a lot of times in my profession, where's God? How do I connect with God? Is God with me? Does God know I exist? And I want to say this. There is no real trick. There is no real disconnect. There's only illusion. So what I'll say to you is my way of trying to show people how this happens. We come into birth, we come in as children. We are connected. We are aware. As time goes on, we lose sight of that connection. Why I will say this, if you're looking for God, look no further than the end of your nose. Because realistically, God is within you. And I remember a time that statement used to fire and piss me off, because I was like, if God's in me, why can't I find it? Why can't I find him, her, whatever case, or whatever name? And the reality was that until I started getting away from all the strongholds in my life, the things that stopped me from being my best self, because truly only in reaching your highest soul evolution, meaning going after all the things that you truly want, not what others want, not what family wants, what you want. And let's say, for example, you're someone who's held down by vices or people, places, and things. And you say to yourself, I don't know where God is. And if you're somebody who struggles with a vice, okay, let's say every time you go to rehab, that's where God is. Every time you take a step into the next meeting, that's where God is. Every time you eliminate bad people in your life that hold you down, that's where God is. Every time you take steps to get out of those abusive relationships, that's where God is. Every time you, and I'm pointing at you, reach to make your life better, go after your life goals, become your essence of self, is where God is. The more you reach within yourself and try to be the best version of self. Let's say, for example, you might say, why doesn't God just make all these people go away or make these vices go away? That's not how the soul learns. That's not how you connect to anything or anyone. It's only through going through rehab that you go through the steps and the challenges that sobers you up. It is only by disconnecting from people, places, and things and learning how to adopt in a system of non-conformity and also not being codependent anymore on others to find your grace and your excellence. These trials or these things that you must go through are what teach you how great you are. Only you will feel triumphant at the end of a rehab. Only you will feel triumphant when you get out of that abusive relationship. Only you will feel triumphant when you eliminate certain people, places, and things that do no longer suit you. That triumphant feeling that you get once you achieve something is your connection to God. Because only through going through that would you ever get to understand it. And the thing is that a lot of people want these quick fixes, but you never know why you have to suffer. Sometimes the suffering teaches you. Maybe you went to rehab, you learned how great you were in rehab, and you realized that you were a counselor. Maybe you got out of that abusive relationship, you went into a shelter, and you started aiding other women in the shelter. Maybe you got out of those strongholds in those poor relationships, and you learned how to cultivate new ones, and now you're showing others how to cultivate for themselves. Don't ever take away from what the suffering teaches, because within the suffering is how you grew. Within the suffering is how you know. And that's how you find your connection to God. Once you get a hold of it, once you see that brilliance within yourself, it just keeps getting bigger, bigger, and better. The more you strive for, the more you want. In the sense of facilitating and helping the ultimate you. And I don't mean this selfishly, I mean doing things for yourself that benefit yourself so that you can be a better person for others. There's nothing selfish in that. So if you're looking for God, start with yourself. Get rid of all the limitations that hold you down. And as you strive to become a better you, God will come through. I promise.